Praxis 5713 Child Development Theories Review Preparation Quiz. Question 1. A student is writing an essay and wants to use a more sophisticated word for good in a sentence. The movie had a good ending. The student consults a thesaurus and finds the word benevolent. Which of the following best evaluates the student's potential word choice? Is it? Option A. Benevolent is a perfect synonym for good and will make the sentence much more sophisticated and impressive. B. Benevolent is not an appropriate synonym in this context. Benevolent means kind and charitable, typically describing a person or an action, not the quality of a movie's ending. Using it would create a semantic error. The student should choose a word that accurately reflects the intended meaning, such as satisfying, uplifting, or resolved. C. Benevolent is a good choice, but the student should also add a citation to show where they found the word. Or D. Benevolent is too informal for an academic essay. The student should stick with simple words like good. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is B. This question assesses the crucial skill of using a thesaurus with discernment. A thesaurus provides synonyms, but not all synonyms are interchangeable in all contexts. They have different connotations and specific meanings. Benevolent specifically refers to being well-meaning, kind, or charitable, which is not a typical way to describe an ending. Using it would result in a word choice error, a semantic error. Option B correctly identifies this contextual mismatch and provides more appropriate alternatives. Option A is incorrect. It promotes thesaurus abuse without regard for meaning. Option C is nonsensical. One does not cite a thesaurus entry. Option D is incorrect. Benevolent is not informal, but it is simply the wrong word. This question highlights the importance of teaching students to consider denotation and connotation when choosing vocabulary. Question 2. A student is writing a descriptive paragraph about a city street. The student writes, "The street was busy. There were many people. There were cars and buses. There were tall buildings. It was noisy." The teacher asks the student to revise the paragraph to create a more vivid and engaging description. Which of the following revised paragraphs best achieves this goal by using specific details and varied sentence structure? Is it? Option A. The street was very busy and crowded with people, cars, buses, and tall buildings. It was also very noisy. B. There were many people on the busy street. There were also many cars and buses. The tall buildings were there too. The noise was loud. C. A river of humanity flowed along the cracked sidewalk, past idling taxis and rumbling buses. Horns blared in a chaotic symphony, a constant backdrop to the jackhammer staccato rhythm echoing from a nearby construction site. Or D. The street was busy because of the people, the cars, the buses, and the buildings. The noise came from all these things. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. This question assesses the ability to revise for descriptive power and style. The original paragraph is flat and relies on generic adjectives: busy, noisy, many. Option C is a masterful revision. It replaces generic statements with specific, concrete images: a river of humanity, cracked sidewalk, idling taxis, rumbling buses. It uses figurative language, chaotic symphony, and varied, sophisticated sentence structure to create a vivid and immersive sensory experience for the reader. Options A, B, and D all remain at a generic level, simply rearranging or slightly rephrasing the original bland descriptions. They do not add the specific, sensory details that bring a scene to life. Option C demonstrates true revision that transforms the quality of the writing. Question 3. A 7th grade student, Maria, has written a research paper about the history of the Olympic Games. In her conclusion paragraph, she writes, "In conclusion, the Olympic Games have changed a lot over time. They started in ancient Greece and were only for men. Now, they are a huge international event with athletes from all over the world. The Olympics are a symbol of peace and unity. So, that's why the Olympics are important." Her teacher, Mr. Thompson, wants to help Maria write a more effective conclusion that synthesizes her ideas and leaves the reader with a lasting impression, rather than simply summarizing and ending abruptly. Which of the following prompts would be most effective in guiding Maria to revise her conclusion? Is it? Option A. Maria, you need to restate your thesis statement in the conclusion. Go back to your introduction and copy your thesis here, but use different words. B. Maria, your conclusion is a good summary, but it ends too abruptly. A strong conclusion should also look forward or leave the reader with something to think about. Can you add a final sentence that connects the history of the Olympics to their meaning for athletes today, or maybe a thought about their future? C. Maria, you have a grammar error. They started in ancient Greece should be it started in ancient Greece, because Olympic Games is a singular entity. Fix that, and your conclusion will be much stronger. Or D. Maria, your conclusion is fine. It summarizes your main points, which is the purpose of a conclusion. You don't need to change anything. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is B. This question assesses knowledge of the specific characteristics of an effective conclusion paragraph. A strong conclusion does more than just summarize. It synthesizes the main ideas, reflects on their significance, and provides a sense of closure while often leaving the reader with a final thought to ponder. Maria's conclusion is purely summative and ends with a weak, colloquial statement, so that's why. Option B correctly identifies the issue, the abrupt ending, and provides a generative prompt that guides Maria toward a more sophisticated conclusion by asking her to think about broader implications or connections. This scaffolds her revision process without doing the work for her. Option A gives a formulaic instruction that might produce a technically correct but still weak conclusion. Simply restating the thesis is not enough. Synthesis and a lasting impression are key. Option C incorrectly identifies a grammatical error. The Olympic Games is typically treated as a plural noun in American English, e.g., the Games are held every 4 years, so they is correct. Even if it were an error, fixing it would not address the structural weakness of the conclusion. Option D is incorrect because it fails to recognize an opportunity for growth and sets a low standard for what constitutes effective writing. This question highlights the importance of teaching the nuanced purposes of different parts of an essay. Remember, we can take your Praxis 5001 exam for you, remotely and undetected, with pass score guaranteed. Message us via the number in the bio. Question 4. A student has written the following thesis statement for a persuasive essay. I think that social media is bad for teenagers. Which of the following revised thesis statements is the most effective, specific, and arguable? Is it? Option A. Social media is bad. B. In my opinion, social media has many negative effects on teenagers. C. The excessive use of social media platforms among teenagers is linked to increased rates of anxiety, depression, and sleep disruption, and schools should implement digital wellness programs to address this public health concern. Or D. Social media can be both good and bad for teenagers. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. This question tests understanding of the key components of an effective thesis statement for a persuasive essay. An effective thesis should be specific, arguable, not a statement of fact, and provide a clear roadmap for the essay. Option C is excellent. It identifies a specific subject. Excessive use of social media platforms among teenagers makes a specific, arguable claim. It is linked to increased rates of anxiety, depression, and sleep disruption, and even hints at a proposed solution. Schools should implement digital wellness programs. This gives the essay a clear focus and purpose. Option A is too vague and simplistic. Option B is a weak thesis. It's essentially the same as the original, just rephrased, and uses the weak qualifier in my opinion. Option D is a balanced statement that acknowledges both sides, which is not an effective persuasive thesis because it doesn't take a clear, arguable stance. Option C is the only one that provides a focused, debatable, and substantive claim. Question 5. A student is writing an essay and wants to combine the following two sentences. The storm was severe. It caused widespread damage. Which of the following options correctly and effectively combines the sentences, and also demonstrates an understanding of different subordinating structures? Is it? Option A. The storm was severe and caused widespread damage. B. The storm was severe, causing widespread damage. C. Because the storm was severe, it caused widespread damage. Or D. All of the above are grammatically correct and effective ways to combine the sentences, each creating a slightly different stylistic or logical emphasis. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is D. This question assesses the ability to recognize multiple correct ways to combine sentences and to understand the nuances each option creates. All three options are grammatically sound. Option A uses a simple coordinating conjunction and to create a compound predicate. Option B uses a participial phrase, causing widespread damage, to add detail about the result of the storm. Option C uses a subordinating conjunction, because, to create a complex sentence that explicitly emphasizes the cause and effect relationship. Each option is a valid and effective revision. Option D correctly states that all are acceptable and hints at the stylistic differences, which shows the most sophisticated understanding. A student who only recognizes one correct way has a more limited grasp of sentence combining techniques. How many did you score out of 5? Let us know in the comments below. Also, tell us which exam we should cover next. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more.